You should watch First to Third because of your commitment to excellence,
Drunken debauchery.
athletic achievement,
PBR.
competition,
Women.
money.
Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. Come on. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat or the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know.
Hey everybody, just wanted to take a moment and say thanks for watching the show. I also want to introduce one of the new sponsors to the circuit this year, NextGameNation.com. NextGame is a multi-platform location-based social application that connects individuals, groups, in order to find and organize pickup sports and recreational activities. So what does that mean? So if you have an iPhone right now, you can go to the App Store and you can go look for the Next Game app. This is what it looks like right here, or at least when it's loading. And then based on your location, you can say, all right, here's where I'm at. Why don't you find me a pickup game? So you can use the map and find, let's say you want to find a kickball game or a ultimate frisbee game or flag football game. The Next Game application in the database will basically allow you to find other individuals interested in that sport or kind of put you together with other folks who are looking to do pickup games. So it's a really cool app. Again, NextGameNation.com, or you can follow them on Twitter at NextGameNation. And anyways, these guys are doing great things. We invite you to check them out and download the app today. Thanks. Kickballer, save $20 at CustomInk.com. Check it out.
You got First to Third joining us tonight. We got the illustrious admin and legendary meatball Bobby Flader. What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys?
Welcome back to the States.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We missed
Had a
you.
great trip. You guys managed to hold down the fort without me. Got out a couple episodes. Looked like you had some fun.
We had a stormtrooper. We had a stripper pole. We had Hugh Jackman.
You missed some good stuff, Oak.
We had the infamous Matt Barkus, and then we had Flay's captain.
We had a stripper pole.
Meatball Kevin. So it worked out pretty well.
Of course, I got back from 2 weeks of vacation and to piles of emails, all kinds of shit to do at work. And of course, what do? Immediately crank up First to Third, see what's been happening.
Well, thank you.
Priorities, man.
Totally. So, Bobby, man, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. It's an honor and a privilege.
Oh, man. So listen, the classic question that we ask all our guests: how'd you get started in kickball, man?
Well, it was 2007. The registration for the fall Riptide season, Waka season down here, and a couple of acquaintances of mine who I soon became good buddies with asked me if I wanted to play kickball. They'd been, I guess, walking downtown and had walked by Dicey Riley's, and everybody was having a great time, and so they had talked about starting up a team, and then asked me to do it, and they were like, "You got to register today because the registration's closing if you want to do it." And I was like, "Oh, kickball, do I really want to do this?" And because when I do stuff, I want to be competitive and be good at it, and I just couldn't fathom kickball being a competitive thing that was going to be fun. But I ended up doing it, and our team was called Riff Raff, and we had about 55 people on the team that first season in Waka with the whole Waka roster size, and ended up being a great time. And our first season went really well, and we started getting into it and getting more and more competitive. And then our second season, which was Florida Beach, which was used to be one of the most competitive leagues, we ended up playing the defending Founders Cup champion, I think the first or second week, and actually beat them somehow with our 24-person roster, and that was kind of it. From there, we were all hooked, and kind of took off, and we started doing the whole boot people off the team, get people in the team who were good, and that whole thing, which everybody's familiar with. So that was pretty much it. And then we started playing tournaments next year, and been at it for 4 years now. It's kind of crazy.
It's funny how time flies.
For sure, it's nuts. and it's crazy how it's developed in the last 4 years too. From when we started to, all these teams from around the country playing for, $10,000 prizes and.
Everybody knows Meatball Nation now.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been a fun ride with the meatballs, and good people, and like to have fun on and off the field, and try not to take ourselves too seriously. But looking forward to another year here starting off in a month. So.
Well, very cool. Well, you guys are lucky down south. You pretty much probably are 70-degree weather right now?
It's been pretty much as nice as I can remember it. The last 3 weeks. This time of year is just incredible down here. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and
is there
I'm sure it's going to stay that way. For the next couple months, and should be great when you guys come down here. So.
Was that an airplane going by?
Control the Bobby Flader. Could you please land whatever aircraft are in the air?
Yeah, that's my G4 coming down. Taking off tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Gonna go pick up Meatball Kevin and just do some recruiting across the country.
So that's how the meatballs are getting by. Nice.
Yeah, man, you got to fly the kids in, show them a good time. These new recruits, man, they expect the world.
Give them a little Mercedes Benz, and wine them and dine them.
So
they got to know you're going to take care of them.
Yeah, seriously. So, phenomenal weather right now. I'm guessing that means you guys are full force with Ultra Kickball right now, right?
We actually start Ultra next week.
Okay.
We finished the fall season right before Thanksgiving, and then there really wasn't much time to start up again before the holidays and all that. So registration closed, I think, last week, and then we start next Thursday.
Cool.
Playing up with the Ultra League this year again with 8 teams again. So should be another good season down here with Ultra.
Any new teams or?
Well, there's a new / old team actually. One of the teams that we played against in our first season with Riff Raff in 2007, called the Beach Slappers.
Yeah.
They are, I guess, making a comeback. One of their guys is rounding up the troops, and I think they're going to have a lot of new people too. I don't really know who's on the team, but they're a new team to Ultra. And then the Riff Raff guys are not playing. So there's kind of one new team in, and Riff Raff's out. So there's still 8 teams, and other than that, I think pretty much everybody's same teams as last season. So
very cool.
It's amazing what John Simon's done down here with that league, and really think that it's taken the scene down here to the next level in terms of competitiveness, being able to play with the circuit rules, and really honestly competitive games every week. You guys will see some of the teams that Get Off My Kick and even the Ninja Kiddies who play in Ultra, who people haven't really heard of but are solid. We play our meatball squads against them, and they're good, solid games. So it's pretty cool to be involved with it. We take it for granted, but it's pretty awesome.
Looking forward to it.
So for folks at home who don't watch the show and don't know what Ultra is, it's a league in the Fort Lauderdale area. There's a couple more now, right? In other cities around Southern Florida?
Yeah, I think it started as a competitive league here to cater to teams like ours and Fully Loaded and JKI and Balls Deep at the time. And I think it's expanded. I think there's a more social league now that plays up in Delray Beach, Florida. And then I think John has started something over on the west coast of Florida. I don't really know too much about that, but it's starting to grow. And our league that we play in has grown from 5 teams when we first started to now we got 8, and there'll probably be by the end of the year there'll probably be a few more coming in. So it's taken off, and everybody's having a great time with it, and kind of left good old Waka in the dust.
Well, I mean, we have a ton of fun watching, following the games, and watching the videos that people take. Kirk's done a great job posting some videos of the games.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
So we're jealous obviously, and I know people Virginia's talking about it, people in New York are talking about it, starting up, leagues pitched at the competitive game in our cities. I know it didn't happen right away for Ultra, but I mean, any advice on getting started? Like, what'd you guys do to like build the scene? How'd you get new people involved?
Firstly, I think that having a league like an Ultra League in DC and in New York and in LA or wherever is pretty much the key to the future of the, I guess, competitive game.
And we will have 2 leagues in DC starting in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're looking forward to
getting people into. First of all, just getting people into that it's okay to be competitive. It took me a while to kind of come to terms with the fact with myself that I'm playing competitive kickball.
Yeah.
So when you have a league it's that where you don't get ridiculed for being competitive, like happens a lot in the Waka leagues and other social based leagues. Yep. People come in and it just kind of like becomes normal to compete and want to win and then go to the bar afterward and have just as much fun as you would have in a quote unquote social league. So and then it just you make the jump from playing locally to wanting to compete nationally so much quicker.
Yeah.
We got guys, that are, some of them are coming on the message board now that are in Ultra, and it's they've only been playing for a few months, but it's not weird for them to be competitive because everybody else is. And they're planning to travel this year. So, you start these type of competitive based leagues around the country and it becomes more natural to make the jump to playing competitively locally to traveling to play competitively. Because when you got 15 teams that are drinking 100 beers on the sidelines and get all pissed off when your team beats them, it's a little bit harder to make that jump to wanting to do that across the country than it is if you've got a league like ours down here where everybody's playing to win. So it's in terms of getting people into it, I think it's just Trey was talking about on the message board the other day. Just we play across the country for money. We meet great people all over the country. We go out to the bar and have a great time, and it's like taking a vacation with friends from all over the country. And when you break it down like that, it's a pretty easy sell to a guy who's 22 or 23, come out of college, is a good athlete, and wants to do something fun but still kind of be competitive. So
yeah, man. I mean, and you know what? It's exciting to have an opportunity to play against and potentially be the best in the sport. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, you can play flag football and maybe your team can win or whatever, but you're never going to be the best football player. You're never going to be able to compete at the highest level of football, but kickball you can.
It's just a different.
It's awesome.
It's just a different dynamic. I mean, like I've done co-ed. I swore I would never play co-ed sports. Now it's like the only I won't play non-co-ed sports.
I swore I wouldn't do a lot of things when I was younger, but you know what?
But because just playing with the girls, in the sports, it just brings a whole different dynamic and a social aspect to it. And I've done the softball thing, and it was all right. And I played in a co-ed flag football league, which was okay. It was kind of lame, but it's just, I don't know. It's something about the kickball scene. It's just, it's just more fun. I can't really put my finger on it, but just the national aspect to it now that Admin and Shane and those guys have brought to this thing, just interacting with people from across the country and Los Angeles that play the same game, and everyone's competing to win. It's just a pretty cool thing. So
thanks.
Looking forward to continuing to do it as long as we can here.
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of the national scene and people from around the country, we got the marquee event of the spring coming up in the South Florida Kickball Open in Fort Lauderdale.
The Daytona 500 of the circuit. I've been
The
told.
Daytona 500 of the circuit. One of the most fun times of the year.
Wife beaters, though.
What's that?
Not as many wife beaters, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you though,
Our sponsors appreciate that.
South Florida is how I got hooked on travel kickball. I remember going to that first tournament in Miami and just being like, this game is fun as hell. I can get out of New York and go somewhere warm in February. Like, there's tons of cool people here. This is a great scene.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. I was looking at pictures and video of that tournament the other day and thinking about just how bad we were. Oh, dude, we were terrible.
I remember the jerseys with the flames up the side.
Dude, those are so awesome. They were unbelievably
Bottom back. You gotta throw one up on the wall there in your apartment.
What's that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to do mine out.
It's gonna be worth something someday.
Frame that.
Yeah, those are classic, dude. So uncomfortable, just like polyester, like didn't wick at all, like totally.
There's still teams that are showing up with jerseys like that. Maybe not the Flames, but
That's pretty amazing. It's gone from that to I guess 25 teams now that signed up, and there's probably going to be a couple more. I'm thinking.
Yeah, right now we do have a team limit set at 30 right now.
30.
And the 25 teams we have, aside from the 8 ultra teams that have signed up, so everybody's kind of looking to see, ultra represent.
8 ultra teams?
That's what I'm told by the event manager.
I guess every single one of that's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's awesome.
So 8 solid ultra teams who play the competitive game day in and day out, or week in and week out. You've got teams from DC, the Massachusetts area, New York area, Virginia Beach area, all over Florida as well, Texas. It's definitely going to be a good wake up, a good way to start the year down in Florida, especially when we just got an ice storm last week and New York's getting pounded with snow.
Oh my God, man!
But, so actually, speaking of South Florida and the Open and the 8 ultra teams, what do you think? Are all the teams from ultra going to make it to the single eliminations if we're taking the top 16?
I don't think they'll all make it. 16 make it, you said?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna. The event manager will be posting the details soon, but yeah, the top 16 will advance, and then there will be a payout for the top 4.
I think the beach slappers will probably struggle to get out of pool play. I'm not sure really who they got, but Ninja Kitties, I think they could surprise some people and maybe get out, and then JKI. I mean, on paper, that team is, scary.
That's what Meatball Kevin said last week.
They are going to be. I mean, if they can, you never know how it's going to, how it's going to play out, and they got a lot of good players, and John's going to have to, manage all those personalities. But if they can get everybody on the same page, that team's going to be pretty damn good. So.
Are those guys all friends? Both those teams? They known each other for a while, or is this kind of a new relationship?
I don't really know. I mean, everybody's pretty friendly in terms of the kickball circle, but other than that, I don't know if they hang out and stuff. I don't think so. I think that there was a few balls deep guys that wanted to keep playing, and Urban Meyer, aka John Simon, scooped them up.
Urban Meyer.
So. They're going to be really good. Be really interesting to see how Get Off My Kick does. That's Jay Hazelcorn, who played for Fully Loaded. Did an unbelievable job with starting a new team down here a couple seasons ago, and they've grown and they're hooked. They're into it, and they've got a pitcher who throws really hard and a bunch of athletes. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to the pressure of playing in a tournament and playing, possibly 6, 7, 8 games in one day, which is totally different from, hanging out on Thursday nights and playing 1 or 2.
Yeah, man.
But they'll be really good. And then I got no idea what's going on with Fully Loaded. They've had a lot of people kind of jump ship. I don't know if Casey's picked anybody up. If he hasn't, they could struggle. It's kind of weird. I'm not really in the gossip circles with what's going on, but I haven't heard much about why they're losing players, but
Well, we ought to get Casey on here to talk about it a little bit. We haven't had him on the show in a while.
I don't know. Corey Tiger's gone playing for Flying V, I guess, and Hazelcorn's playing with Get Off My Kick, which isn't that big of a surprise. He's kind of rallied that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes a little away from their depth. Obviously, Hazelcorn is a huge loss on offense and defense, but I mean, they got some depth. They got a big team, man. I mean, they got
I guess I don't know if DeMattis and his buddy still playing with him. I guess they are. I
do not know. I haven't talked to DeMattis.
I guess we'll find out when we get there, but yeah, in terms of the Florida teams, I think you got 6 that really are going to be solid, and then the question marks are kind of the other 2 beach slappers and Ninja Kitties. But I wouldn't be surprised if they made some noise too. So
who are your sleeper picks? I know you've been reading the message board. Who do you think is going to surprise people?
Well, it's hard when you're on the message board. There's no such thing as a sleeper. Everybody sort of gets talked about, but I think that I heard the Miami team last year was pretty good.
Dude, they were in our pool, man, and they didn't play well in our game against them, but they did real well against Motussin, who I think they beat, and then I think they tied Balls Deeper, or they had a real close game with them, and our pool was crazy. But they got some athletes on their team.
Yeah, there was another team, a different team, not that team, but I guess they were called the Blueprint, which we played like 2 or 3 years ago down here. And
yeah, that's the same team. I think it's the same guys. They're the Gorilla Juice Heads this year.
Yeah,
I think
they're Gorilla.
Well,
yeah.
It's kind of funny. I had a buddy who just started playing Waka like last year down there, and I was asking him how it was going. He's like, "It's cool, but there's this one team. They're a bunch of dicks. They're called the Blueprint, and all they try to do is win, and they're such assholes." And so I was like, "Oh boy." So I guess they're the big cheese down there. And if it's the same team, and they got some good players. But I just think it'll be interesting to see how teams like relax and let it happen. Who's had some good wins and has been kind of inconsistent, and then Flying V's made a couple pickups with Panic guys joining them.
So Lock It Up.
And Trey with Lock It Up. It'll be real interesting to see how those different pieces kind of affect those teams.
I mean, I think picking up people can be a blessing or it can be a curse, man. Like
Totally.
it can either be like someone who really like sparks the team and it produces a lot, or it's someone that like makes people nervous and like or are uncomfortable and it can take some time to adjust. So
yeah, that's something that we've been like really lucky with the meatballs, is that all the pieces just kind of fit together, that everybody's cool with their role and everybody is will do whatever it takes, and that's not the case when as you guys know from going through different teams and stuff. When you bring different people together, it doesn't always work.
I mean, it took us a while to get the formula on the shower hammers. I mean, we've progressed a lot from when we first started to now, and at first it wasn't easy, man. Feeling people out that you don't know, seeing how people are gonna respond to their like change roles and stuff.
Where you're kicking. I forgot to mention Mushroom Stampers picked up Q, Matt Wiener, who is our catcher on Riff Raff, and the famous Mr. Awesome, who will probably cramp after 2 games. But
I was watching some Riff Raff tape from the Founders Cup a couple of years ago on YouTube.
That brought back some memories, man.
Yeah,
go others.
Those guys will help the Mushroom Stampers, who I didn't mention earlier. They'll be good too. So it's gonna be crazy.
So no
Sweet,
sleeper picks, Final Four picks?
Sleeper picks, I don't really know enough about. Like, I'm interested to see the Boston teams. I met Phil in DC, and I know he's been, talking up the circuit up there, and they had an event up there. So I've never seen those guys. Met anybody from Boston who's kickball people. So it'd be good to have them down, and then. let's see who else is, and there's,
Is that team from Maine coming?
I think
we were trying to get them. I don't know if they're going to go right now. Yeah, I don't think they're signed up as
Really, you'd rather be in Maine in February?
yeah, it gets dark at like 11 in the morning up there, doesn't it?
Come on, All Stars Only. Come below the Arctic Circle.
No, I'm pretty sure All Stars Only came to the end after their Waka Founders Cup, but then they turned into another team. Can't remember.
what do they
no
now
dead
that, like-
weight. Yeah, no dead weight.
No dead weight. Whatever, those names are the same.
So
Sleeper. I don't have a sleeper, guys. You have a sleeper?
I still have faith in Fully Loaded just because of Casey. Everybody keeps talking up JKI. I don't know if you would consider them a sleeper.
They're not a sleeper, dude.
They've been around for a
They're
while.
incredibly highly hyped.
Well, Fully Loaded, I think, was the hype team last year, but I keep pulling for them.
No one's talking about mushroom stampers. Everyone's talking about Get Off My Kick and and JKI and
we're all Oakley. You weren't here last week when you're off in Tahiti or Australia or whatever country you were at.
All of the above.
But everybody keeps talking about the Shower Hammers as a team to watch out for.
Consensus top 5 pick.
Yeah, definitely. OSC throws a couple wrinkles into the mix.
I'm real interested to see how that works out.
Well, the last time,
you guys got like 26 people or something coming down.
We have a lot, but I mean, the last time we did this was the others, and it worked out well for us. Now, that was playing a different rule book, and it's been 2 years, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. We're ready to just play the game. We've been practicing, but we'll see how it goes down.
Is it a good vibe? Like, do you think this is like a long-term thing? Because it looks like the scene in DC is kind of like merge into one team, win a tournament. People get pissed about riding the bench, break into 2 teams.
Not at
the
all.
other team does good. They get poached back into the main team.
Never ending cycle.
Right.
Well, I mean, and I said this on the last episode. IB was a solid team, but we couldn't go to any events, and the only way we're ever gonna be better at the circuit, ignoring leagues, is to go to events.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
to us, we looked at each other in the mirror and said, if we're going to be good, we got to do this a different way. It didn't work out last year. But as far as the DC market going, shrinking, it's not. We've got 4 teams coming out of 2 other kickball leagues in the area that are gung-ho. They haven't signed up yet for South Florida, so if you're watching this from J. Crew, Deja Vu, there's another team.
DSB too. We played them in DC last year.
What are those guys?
They merged. I think they're merging with Motussin to travel. That's the other thing. BSB didn't travel that much last year. They did DC and
didn't travel at all.
Yeah, so I mean, then they didn't even do New York. They merged. So BSB is a solid team, and I even think they picked up a couple people. But again, traveling's an issue. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, so. Speaking of traveling in general, Flades, what tournaments are you guys going to? Meatball Kevin gave us a couple ideas, but what are you planning to go to? Because a lot of folks always hear about Flades and you playing the position of charge, and they want to see you live in action. Where are you going?
Well, the Meatballs. I guess the plan is to do, like Kevin mentioned, obviously Florida and Jacksonville, because we can get there pretty easily, and Atlanta, DC, New Orleans, and I guess he said maybe not Atlanta now, but
have you seen that stadium? You've got to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, well, the good thing for me is that luckily I have a relative or a really good friend in pretty much every circuit city. So, last year I was all over the place and just staying for free. So, I'm planning on doing whatever the meatball plan is, and then. If we don't go to Atlanta, then I would love to go up there and
play on an open team,
play with somebody else. I mean, one of the most fun I had last year almost was when we went out to LA and just got a chance to play with a bunch of different people and see a city I hadn't seen before. And
that was an awesome tournament.
Yeah.
It'll be a kindness of us not to go defend that title. We'll let Sofa King handle business in their own.
I couldn't. That team was on point that day.
Yeah, we played lights out kickball.
Yeah, that was an absolute blast. So I would recommend to even if your team to everybody, if your team's not going and you got, you can take Friday off or you can get out of town for a weekend, just round up a couple people and get a team together, because you never know what can happen. And that honestly was, winning with the meatballs is always a lot of fun, but getting a chance to play with some different folks and in a different type of environment. That was
especially when it's like a total mystery. You don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Exactly. So,
well, I'll give you a little heads up, something that I've never actually been in a position to do in the month of January. But the fields for DC Kickball Open, the DCKO, which will be July 14th, we actually locked the fields this week. They're smack dab in the middle of the city, gorgeous turf fields. They're brand new. We got them. It's going to be the best field surface we've ever played on for a tournament in DC. So we invite everybody and their mother to come out this year. Meatballs, you guys need to defend your title.
Oh, we'll be there, no doubt. Where are the fields?
Very top corner of Crystal City. It's phenomenal. Can't wait. We'll get photos up and we'll launch registration soon.
I think I used to play youth soccer at this. What's the name of it?
Longbridge Park. It just opened. They just finished construction on this the other day. DC United is actually practicing on those fields right now.
Nice. Sounds legit.
Turf. Every field's got a scoreboard. We got plenty of parking, walking distance from hotels, walking distance to the bars. DC's going to be a fun tournament this year.
Wait, walking distance from the hotel to the field? That's awesome.
As long as I can walk down the hotel I want, it's going to be a phenomenal tournament.
Dude, that would be excellent. The only thing that bummed me out about DC last year was trying to figure out how to get to the field.
And we've always been looking for, solid fields, and that's what everybody wants to see is better fields. Trust me, we got them locked, ready to go.
Awesome, man. I swear.
Great stuff.
Yo, Bob, you guys thinking about going to Austin?
I'm not. The tough thing with us is our whole team's work schedules are kind of screwy. We got a lot of people that work on the weekends and a lot of people with no money like me. So we kind of gotta choose, carefully and have everybody know way in advance. And I'm not sure about Austin. There's been a little bit of talk about it, but the ones that we've been talking about, or Kevin was talking about, are the for sure tournaments we're going to. And who knows, maybe Austin will be one where a couple of us can make it down there, but maybe not the whole team. But that was a blast last year. It's a great city to go visit. So I'm not sure if the meatballs will be there, but maybe a few of us will.
Very cool.
Right on, man. Excellent. All right. Well, I think it's the alarm clock's dinging. It's about time for us to wrap this up. Flader, man, it was really a pleasure having you on, dude. We got to do this again sometime.
Thanks, guys, for sure. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, dude.
Man.
We'll see you in a couple weeks, man.
Hey, we're ready for you guys.
See you soon.
All right,
later, guys.
I just want to take a moment to thank Complete Discovery Source. They're a huge supporter of the circuit and of the national tour. They are the Circuit Cup Championship sponsor. They're a full service provider of electronic discovery services. They have compiled a team from around the world, top-notch project managers, engineers, developers, and consultants to work with you, the clients. If you're interested, by all means, check them out, cdslegal.com. They are committed to helping you through the discovery process. So again, cdslegal.com. Check them out.
Hey, support companies that support kickball.
Definitely.
There you go, buddy.
Definitely.